We would never eat if we only waited to get until we got hungry, because there's no guarantee that we would find food. We know when you get it, you get a hit of dopamine, which feels good. It's why we like it, it's why we keep going back to it. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, it's highly addictive. We have age restrictions on smoking, gambling, and alcohol, and we have no age restrictions on social media and cell phones. That's basically what happened. You have an entire generation that has access to an addictive, numbing chemical called dopamine through social media and cell phones as they're going through the high stress of adolescence. Why is this important? Almost every alcoholic discovered alcohol when they were teenagers. When we're very, very young, the only approval we need is the approval of our parents. And as we go through adolescence, we make this transition where we now need the approval of our peers. Very frustrating for our parents, very important for us. It allows us to acculturate outside of our immediate families into the broader tribe. Some people, quite by accident, discover alcohol and numbing effects of dopamine to help them cope with the stresses and anxieties of adolescence. Unfortunately, that becomes hardwired in their brains, and for the rest of their lives, when they suffer significant stress, they will not turn to a person, they will turn to the bottle. Social stress, financial stress, career stress, that's pretty much the primary reasons why an alcoholic drinks. Social media is not evil, it's not good or bad. The problem is balance. The problem is how we use the tool. And it's like alcohol is fun. Too much alcohol is actually very bad. And I don't mean on a nightly basis, I mean on a regular basis. You know, gambling, totally fun. But if you're gambling your kids' college education fund away, we have a problem, right? So these things aren't inherently good or bad. It's a question of balance.
One of the hardest things to do when becoming successful is think outside the box, do things differently. In today's world, it's all about how can you make money on your phone or your computer or figure out ways to do things behind a computer screen. And that's great, but in today's world, we're hooked on them. We're constantly looking down at our phones, watching videos, wasting our time. So if you can be one of those people that doesn't always look down at their phone and waste their time, just sit there and think for a second. How much time do you genuinely spend wasting on your phone a day? Now imagine if you could turn that time into work towards your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. There's so many people with big dreams that just choose not to do it, choose to be lazy and sit down and do nothing with their life when they just watch videos on the internet all day. Now that is okay for a little bit, but make sure you're not spending too much time doing that, because when you are, that can become dangerous. That can totally derail your train of success by just sitting there wasting your time each and every single day and constantly being worried about what's going on without you there. What's happening on the internet, what's happening on Twitter, what's going on in the world, things that really don't concern you. If it's not that important to you, then don't invest in it. Don't put too much time into things that really aren't important to your life. You have to make sure that you understand what is important to your life. Make sure that you are spending time with your friends and your family, being there for them when they need you and when you need them. Make sure that you have those good relationships and go out and do things that you enjoy and things that you love to do on a daily basis.
Social media, of course, is wonderful. We connect with friends, we can stay in touch, we can, all of the share our vacations, pictures of our food. But the problem is balance, which is if it is an unbalanced presence in our lives, it will have detrimental impact to the quality of our friendships and our ability to form deep, meaningful relationships. It'll actually hurt our ability to manage and deal with stress. If you really got 0 texts or 0 dings in a day, you would worry. And the problem is that it is a highly addictive chemical inside our bodies. And so we as a society have not yet labeled social media or cell phone addiction as a legitimate addiction. So we have no treatments for it. An addicted generation that doesn't have the skill set to ask for help, combined with the fact that they're so good at Facebook and Instagram, they're good at putting filters on everything. So they're good at showing you how smart and strong they are. These kids who commit suicide, you go look at their Instagrams, you would have no clue that they were depressed because they're happy and they're star athletes, right? You'd have no clue because they're really good. So when we say silly things like, my door is always open, you're assuming they have the courage to come in. Combined with the fact that they're subject largely, but too many, to a failed parenting strategy. Because their parents told them they were special, they could have anything they wanted, they can be anything they want. They got medals for coming in last, which by the way we know doesn't work. It devalues the medal for the one who comes in first, and the one who came in last, it makes them feel stupid because they know they didn't deserve it. The kids got into honors classes not because they deserved it, but because the parents complained. And some of them got good grades not because they earned them, but because the teachers didn't want to deal with the parents. My fear is that an over-coddled parent combined with excessive amounts of social media, combined with the addictive qualities of a phone, that there's a generation where too many people in that generation are not learning the skill to deal with stress. Well, excessive technology, not good for any of your relationship or your health. Of course there's balance, and it's about being responsible.
If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing.